If you're looking for the cheapest and most reliable Madden 22 coins on the market, check out my sponsor, MMOEXPR.com. Links are in the description, and use code JEDI at checkout for 5% off. Alrighty, hey there guys, Adrian Acosta here, aka JediBro95, coming at you guys with another video. And in this video, guys, it is going to be my best defensive abilities for Madden 22 after the AP update. So there was like I said in the last video, there was a bit of an AP update. The notable changes from that video, if you guys did not watch it, Edge Threat Elite went down 1 AP on all defensive ends and defensive tackles. Lurker went down 1 AP on run stopper linebackers. Enforcer went down 1 AP on all runs on all linebackers. And what's the other one? What was the last notable one? Inside Stuff went down 1 AP on all run stopping ends. So that was the notable changes for the last AP update for the defense, guys. And we also got +4 to that side of the ball too. So I think that was a great change. But overall, let's get into what I think are the best defensive abilities for Madden 22, guys. So let's start off. We're going to group this like we did in the last video. We're going to group it into D tackles, edge rushers, linebackers, defensive backs. So let's start off with defensive tackles. Defensive tackles, there are only really a few abilities I would recommend. Well, one, I would recommend your defensive tackles be run stoppers at all times. I would not recommend any other archetype other than run stoppers. And the reason is because inside stuff for run stopper DTs is 1 AP now. Has been that way since the very first AP update, in my opinion, and I still think that was the best. I still think that was a great change because it made run stopper archetypes a lot more wanted to be used. But inside stuff, I cannot recommend this enough, guys. 1 AP to get quicker sheds on inside run plays can definitely help out the run quite a bit. Help out with your run defense a little bit. It isn't obviously going to be consistent. Like, you're not going to be dominating the line of scrimmage with inside stuff on inside zone plays. And also, obviously, when you have that, well, those two inside stuffs, obviously, a lot of people are going to naturally progress to outside zone runs. But inside zone, obviously, it's going to keep your opponent honest. It's going to make it to where they can't consistently just run up the middle like that because, you know, your run stopper DTs are just going to get sheds and they're just going to dominate the line of scrimmage. The last ability I would recommend is run stopper. Obviously, you know, run stopper shed attempts are free on run plays, meaning that they don't spend pass rush points to shed, or they don't spend points to shed on their man for the interaction. They don't lose points, so obviously those run stopper points that are saved are going to be utilized to help get better pass rush and also make it to where they can spend their pass rush points on rushing the quarterback rather than, you know, just spending it on run and then pass. So there is that as well. Also for defensive tackles, obviously I would recommend goal line stuff. Goal line stuff, honestly, I actually think could be very good now. Because goal line stuff is 1 AP and it does work on the goal line, period. I don't necessarily know if it is like working in the red zone type of thing. Like, I don't necessarily know if it works in the red zone, but 1 AP for something like this to counter all like runs, like stretches or inside zone, in my opinion, you know, great ability, great value now that it's 1 AP. 2 AP, I just wouldn't even use it. So there is that. I definitely do think that DTs, there isn't much for them. You definitely could throw in unpredictable if you're that type of a person. But me personally, I'm a guy who just wants my DTs to be run stoppers. Just stop the run up the middle. So there's that. Now let's move on to edges. Edge rushers, in my opinion, there are a few abilities that they could use. The first is obviously, like I mentioned before, unpredictable. Obviously, shed wins are less likely to add blocker resistance because with the interactions on the defensive at the line of scrimmage, they're going to be able to, with the offensive lineman, they can get resistance, right? If the AI keeps using the same moves over and over and over again, obviously they're going to start building up resistance to it. They're going to know the move is coming, and they're going to be able to, you know, you're not going to be able to get consistent pressure. But with unpredictable, those wins are not going to be able to add those resistance points to your opponent's offensive lineman. So therefore, you can definitely get more into the backfield and get more pressure more consistently. So I would definitely recommend you try that out. Obviously, the original OG edge threat, in my opinion, is still very good. You know, if you want to save an AP point, pick up edge threat. I think it's very good. Defensive rally, I don't necessarily know if it is as good as people think it will be. I mentioned that in my video on the AP update that I don't think defensive rally is going to be as impactful as EA wants it to be. With this change, bringing it down to 1 AP, I apologize for that. However, if it is good, then it is good, but I just don't think it is as good as people think it is. Obviously, also goal line stuff for edge rushers can be useful too, especially if your opponent does call a stretch on your edges, having them shed on the outside and get those tackles for loss. Run stopper obviously can be very good as well. Sheds are free on run play. So again, like I said before, when it comes to run stopping DTs for your defensive tackles, obviously those sheds are going to be free on run plays, which means that you're going to have more pass rush points for your pass rush. And I think that's a lot of good value right there for run stopper. I would definitely recommend run stopper as well. Edge threat elite though. Now this is one I really wanted to deep dive into, because Edge Threat Elite, it's good, don't get me wrong, and the fact that they dropped it down 1 AP is really, really nice, right? Obviously, it's a combination of edge threat and under pressure, getting increased quarterback pressure and dominant edge rush moves. However, the problem I have with this ability is it's not as good as I thought it would be. Like, I really thought Edge Threat Elite was going to dominate this game, even on current gen. Now that Edge Protector is gone, people aren't rocking Edge Protectors anymore. If they are, it's very rare. People are not rocking as many of those anymore. So Edge Threat Elite, I thought was going to tear offensive linemen apart and just completely dominate them. But for some reason, that hasn't been the case. If anything, my sack numbers on Dwight Freeney and even Jadeveon Clowney have been dropping since I picked this card up, and the sixth ability up. Now I'm still going to keep it. Because it's great value for 3 AP. Especially since it's 2 abilities in 1. The edge pressure, the edge rush, and the increased quarterback pressure. But I wouldn't be surprised if in the next couple of weeks I just cut Edge Threat Elite and went back to the original Edge Threat and used that 2 AP, because I have 2 Edge Threat Elites, to use that 2 AP for 2 run stoppers on these guys for their abilities. Because quite honestly, this hasn't been as good as I thought it would be. Double or Nothing also I would recommend using if you're not a fan of Edge Threat Elite. Dominant pass rush wins at twice the cost. And it works everywhere. It's not just on the edges. It also can work on your defensive tackles. If you play your edges at rush DT, if you play, say, for example, Dwight Freeney at rush DT on your scheme, if that's what you do, that's what you do. But it gives you dominant pass rush wins at twice the cost. I really did love this on next gen, but I feel like they nerfed it on next gen shortly after Christmas. Maybe I'm just tripping, but that's what I thought they did. The original OG Under Pressure, though, is also very good for 2 AP. I like this ability, giving a larger area of disruption for the QB. Just wish it was 1 AP, though, and not 2, because in my opinion, this should be 1 AP. It's a small ability that really doesn't do a whole lot. But also, one notable thing, last thing about Edge Threat Elite, is it is 3 AP on right ends and left ends and defensive tackles, and speed and power rusher DTs. However, it is 4 AP on outside rushing and speed rushing and power rushing linebackers. So, that begs the question, do you want that spend that extra 1 AP to get your Von Miller to be the Edge Threat Elite? Or would you rather spend the 2 AP for just the original Edge Threat and use that 2 AP for something else, right? So, all depends on what you have for your edge rushers. Me, personally, I have my ends rushing. I have Clowney playing left outside linebacker, but that's just how I have my setup for my defense. Anyways, let's move into linebackers now. Now, linebackers, the absolute 100% key ability that you need to have on your linebackers if they're ever going to sniff your field is Lurker. This ability, in my opinion, just is a necessity. You have to have this ability on your linebackers if you want them to be on your field at any point in the game. Other than that, they should never touch your field. But the one thing about Lurker that is a common misconception with people is you have to be usering this player with Lurker to get the jumping animations. I'm going to tell you guys right now, you do not have to be usering the player to have Lurker activate. Let me show you a clip I got a few days ago with that. Actually, I think I deleted it now, but it is on my most recent theme team video where I actually was playing a cover 4, and I remember this clip because it was on my video. My Seahawks team video. I had Junior Seau playing my sideline because I actually shaded it over the top. I had Junior Seau in a curl flat, and the guy threw it right at Junior Seau, and he was able to jump up and make a play and pick the ball off. And I've also seen guys like Junior Seau in a cover 3 jump up in a hook curl without me using them and pick the ball off. So they don't have to be used. You don't have to user them. You can have them on the field and have them jump to pick off the pass. So that is a common misconception by people. You don't have to be using the card in order for it to be working, for you to work with it. Other than that, for field general for linebackers, Enforcer is really good now that it's 1 AP again. Doesn't force a lot of fumbles, which it's not meant to force fumbles. It's meant to just get a guaranteed tackle after hit-sticking ball carriers, which you're supposed to combo this ability with Crusher, which I think where's Crusher? Yeah, it's supposed to combo with Crusher to get heavy ball carrier fatigue on hit-stick tackles. That's basically what it does. It's a much more narrow version of Deflator, because Deflator is all hit-stick tackles, but all non-conservative, but Crusher is basically all tackles. Out My Way is still also very good on your linebackers. I think Out My Way is also very good. Getting dominant impact block wins on wide receivers, halfbacks, and tight ends that are trying to block you in the run game can definitely help you shed those real quick and get in the backfield to stop that runner from breaking the plane or getting whatever you need to do. Other than that, I would honestly recommend you just use those abilities. Linebackers don't really have a whole lot other than that, but even then, Lurker, Enforcer, what's the other one I highlighted? Out My Way. Those three, in my opinion, are the three best abilities on linebackers, and those three are all really good abilities. If you have your linebackers playing outside, like say for example, you have your outside linebacker. Like if we go to Malcolm Smith, for example, he's a run stopper. Malcolm Smith is a run stopper linebacker, right? So if you have Malcolm Smith on your left outside, obviously no outsiders is 1 AP for him, and they dropped inside stuff to 1 AP on him as well. So obviously that is going to be helpful as well, very much. Obviously now Lurker is 1 AP on him, which is why I picked up Lurker, put Lurker on him. So there is that. Run stopper obviously is still very good. But other than that, for run linebackers, they still don't have a whole lot to work with, but they still get the big three abilities: Lurker, Enforcer, and Out My Way for 1 AP each. So I would definitely recommend those for your linebackers. Pardon me, if you're going to have them on the field. Other than that, I would just not have linebackers on the field at all. But I like having my linebackers play for me because obviously it saves me VC on PC. Saves me coins on defensive backs, and also it prevents me from getting weak boxed because obviously, having too many DBs out there and a heavy set can allow your opponent to weak box you and not pancake you. And also linebackers are better reacting to the run. I think that's just common knowledge. Linebackers are much better reacting to the run and getting into the run fits. So therefore, you can get those extra 1 or 2 stops on the run and get those heavier sheds against the offensive lineman as well, right? So it is what it is with that. So next, let's go on to the defensive backs. We'll use Kam Chancellor, for example, here. Now, for defensive backs, my personal opinion, the best ability in the game is Pick Artist for DBs. Acrobat is a solid number, is a close second, like a very close second. Where is Acro? Acro is a very close second. Like, if you want to say Acro is better, I'm not even going to argue with you. I do think Acro is incredibly good, but I do think Pick Artist is better for a couple of reasons. One, Acrobat does fuck you over sometimes. Like, you will get those diving animations, don't get me wrong, and that is very important. However, there will be times where you whiff, and when you whiff, oh my god, do you fucking whiff. So that is why I don't run Acrobat. I would rather run the Pick Artist because, yeah, sure, I may not dive for them, but the catching is much more consistent for my defensive backs. And obviously, it's cheaper. It's cheaper. It's 1 AP for Pick Artist on all defensive backs. Even on safeties, it's 1 AP. Doesn't matter the safety archetype. It's 1 AP. Acro, obviously, you can have Acros on your field, and I don't think it's a bad idea to have a couple of Acros. I know a lot of players love the Acrobats. Me personally, I am not a fan of Acrobat. Not a fan of Acrobat. What I mean to say is I don't want to take it, especially in this game. I don't want to take a chance of whiffing on a potential defensive stop. Like if I have a chance to get a golden defensive stop, I would rather take the Pick Artist to give me the better catching than someone diving and whiffing and giving my opponent a first down. Right? I would rather have it that way, so that way I don't give my opponent a first down that unfortunately goes that way. Deep in and deep out zone KO. I think these are good abilities. Deep out zone KO I think is really good. I would obviously have it on your outside corner, mainly on your outside cornerbacks. So that way, because they're playing the deep out zone and the deep out zones on your cover 3 and cover 4. Deep in zone KO. I'm not a fan of deep in zone KO. Never really have been, because I tried it on the again, I tried it on next gen, but deep in zone KO just straight up just did not work. You know, improved catches and improved reactions and knockouts in deep inside zones and deep outside zones, and also you got mid zone and flat zone KO. Both flat zone KO I think is really good this year. Where is it? Flat zone KO I think is just the best KO ability in this game. You know, especially against players who love to throw to the flats a lot. You can get those hard knockouts and you know, hit the player as they're catching the ball and knock it loose. So flat zone KO I would definitely recommend if you have the AP for it. Obviously, if you can, you know, mid zone KO is also very good as well. Lurker on defensive backs, do not use Lurker on DBs. Guys, they already get spectacular catch animations while they're in zone coverage. If you jump and try, if they're in position, they will make a great play like normal. But linebackers linebackers need it, but defensive backs don't, because they don't need it because of the fact that they're already programmed to make a great play on the ball like normal. Enforcer on defensive backs, obviously, if you can't afford it, you know, I would definitely get it on your linebacker. But if you want to get on Kam Chancellor, obviously you would have to sub this out for this Enforcer. But I wouldn't recommend it because this Out My Way is just free. It's a free Out My Way, so it's obviously great. You know, route KOs. I mean, if you got a defensive back, you know, man covers DBs, obviously. You know, for cornerbacks, obviously get one step ahead for 4 AP. It's not a guarantee that it'll shut down your opponent's receiver in man coverage, obviously. It just cancels out the route tech, which, you know, there are routes that are designed to beat man coverage that are programmed in the game regardless, so it is what it is. But deep route KO, I think is incredibly good. That's why I think it should have went up in the last AP update, but they never addressed it. Mid route KO, I think, is solid. Short route KO, where is it? Short route KO is not very good. I've seen a lot of people use short route KO recently, you know, even on Twitch streams, and it has not been doing well for them. You know, Gutfox I was watching his stream when the AP update went live on Wednesday, and yeah, short route KO just was not working for him. So it is what it is with that. So I'm kind of happy that it isn't working consistently well, because I don't want man coverage to be overpowered. So it is what it is. So, but, you know, short route KO, definitely don't use it. So anyways, guys, that is actually going to do it for my video. These are, in my opinion, the best defensive abilities after the last AP update in Madden 22. Now, obviously, you know, these are obviously subject to change. If you have any different opinions, do let me know in the comments section below, guys. I always would love to hear your comments. I'd love to hear what you have to say. Like the video if you guys did enjoy, and subscribe if you guys are new to the channel. And with that, I'll see you guys in the next video. I'm out. Peace.